In the early morning hours of May 25th, 1997, Jeremy Strohmeyer and David Cash Jr. were at the Prima Donna Resort and Casino at Primm, Nevada, near the California state line. The two young men had arrived at the gambling establishment accompanied by David Cash's father from their homes in Long Beach, California. Strohmeyer was a student at Wilson High School in Long Beach. At around 4 a.m., Strohmeyer began repeatedly making apparently playful contact with 7-year-old Sherrice Iverson, who was roaming the casino alone at the time. The young girl's father was gambling and drinking. Her older brother, Harold, was supposed to be watching her but failed to do so, resulting in Sherrice running around unmonitored. The girl had been returned to her father several times through the day, having been found alone by security. Strohmeyer repeatedly told Sherrice if she wanted to play a game called hide and seek. He told her that a good place for her to hide that he would never be able to find her was in the women's restroom. After Sherrice went to the restroom, Strohmeyer followed her inside and they soon began to start throwing wet paper towels at each other. Sherrice then reportedly grabbed a plastic wet floor sign and threw it at Strohmeyer. At around this time, Strohmeyer's friend David Cash entered the restroom and witnessed Strohmeyer forcibly taking Iverson into a stall. When Cash looked from the adjacent stall, he seen Strohmeyer holding his left hand over Sherrice's mouth and fondling her with his right. After this, Cash left the restroom and was followed 20 minutes later by Strohmeyer, who immediately confessed to him that he had molested and killed the girl. 3 days later, Strohmeyer was taken into custody at his home. Classmates at the high school where he attended had identified him after security tape footage captured by cameras at the casino was released by the Nevada police and played on the television news. Strohmeyer was charged with first-degree murder, first-degree kidnapping, and sexual assault of a minor. When questioned by police, Strohmeyer stated that he molested Iverson and strangled her to stifle her screams. Before leaving, Strohmeyer noticed Iverson was still alive and twisted her neck in an attempt to break it. After hearing a loud popping sound, he rested her body on top of the toilet in a sitting position with her feet in the bowl. Strohmeyer's attorney later tried to have the confession thrown out because he was not given legal counsel. However, the police claimed that Strohmeyer waived his right to have an attorney present during questioning. Strohmeyer's defense attorney was Leslie Abramson, who represented many high-profile clients, including the Menendez brothers in their murder trial. Strohmeyer claimed he was high on alcohol and drugs at the time and did not even remember committing the crimes. It was even suggested that perhaps the witness, David Cash, had in fact been the one to murder Sherrice Iverson. Strohmeyer claimed to have absolutely no recollection of his actions, and it was David Cash who witnessed the actual murder, the one to tell him that what he had seen him doing in the bathroom that night. Apperson also noted that Strohmeyer's biological father was in prison and his biological mother in a mental hospital. Strohmeyer's trial was scheduled to begin in September of 1998. Originally, he was facing a possible death sentence for the murder, but hours before his trial was to start, Abramson entered a plea bargain on his behalf. On September 8, 1998, Strohmeyer pleaded guilty to 4 charges: first-degree murder, first-degree kidnapping, sexual assault on a minor with substantial bodily harm, and sexual assault on a minor. On October 14, 1998, he was sentenced to 4 life terms, 1 for each crime. He pleaded guilty to be served consecutively without the possibility of parole. And this is the site of where that horrible murder occurred, the Primm Valley Resort and Casino. A very ominous history with this casino, and I bet you many people visiting this place never even knew that this murder occurred here. But I remember that murder very vividly. You know, a lot of people, when this story was out and it was all over the national media news, a lot of people were blaming the uncle for what occurred. And you know what? A lot of people didn't do their jobs that night in terms of keeping this girl safe. But I'll say this, nobody knows that a sick, twisted, evil monster is in their presence. That's why when it comes to your kids, you always gotta do your job, your due diligence in making sure that your kids are safe and secure, that you know where they are at all times, because hey, most people are normal, but there's a lot of sick and twisted people out there. That's for sure. Primm is located right on the California-Nevada border. It's the first town or city, whatever you want to call this place. It's the first thing that you see right when you pass the border, driving on the I-15 from California going into Las Vegas. Anyways, we're gonna drive about 245 miles. We're gonna go visit the grave of Sherrice in Inglewood, California. Currently, we are in Los Angeles, California, in the city of Inglewood at the Inglewood Park Cemetery. And as I approach this grave, I want to say this was one of the most brutal murders I've ever read in my life. And I found this video quite difficult to do and talk about just because of the brutal nature and what happened to Sherrice. This is her grave right here. October 20th, 1989 to May 25th, 1997. I always carry towels with me wherever I go. They're all clean once again. I am at a loss for words right now. Usually I just speak about the crime or about the person or what have you, but this little girl died scared and in pain, and I don't know why he was not executed long ago, but he's still alive and gets to live, watch TV, eat food, gets to do all the things that this little girl never got a chance to do. Never got a chance to have children, never got a chance to get a job, never got a chance to drive a car. Never got a chance to be a child. She only had 7 years on this earth. Her father, who I mistakenly said in the video was the uncle, I apologize for that, got a lot of backlash in the public eye for him not watching his daughter. He died of cancer about 3 years after she died, or after she was murdered. And I don't know where his grave is. It just says that burial unknown. And again, he got a lot of public backlash. He died of cancer. And you know, let me say this. I believe that when he was gambling or whatever, he did not know that there was a monster in their midst. And for the last 3 years of his life, after his daughter was brutally and horrifically murdered, he had to carry that with him to the grave. And of course, I feel horrible for what happened to her, but I feel bad for him because, you know, he was just ran through the mud in the media. All right, rest in peace to Sherrice. Just a story that I wanted to bring to the attention of everybody and let people not forget what happened to this girl. And to let people know, keep an eye on your kids at all time, because you never know who's lurking, you never know who's out there, you never know what kind of sick son of a bitches are out there. You never know. And it's a sad world that we live in where people like that do unspeakable and horrific acts against people, and especially children. Because children, to me, a lot of times they don't know any better. And they don't know that people like this exist. All right, guys, Lamont at large. I'm signing out.